Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News, the only show where we treat breaking headlines the same way my cousin Ronnie treats fireworks. We light everything at once and hope only one limb gets lost. Today's news is so chaotic, the White House installed a revolving door just for subpoenas, and the Pentagon's running on the kind of legal interpretations you usually hear right after "Hold my beer and watch this." Segment 1. The war on drugs, on water, and maybe on Congress. Lord help us, y'all. The military went full Florida man with a Navy budget. Admiral Mitch Bradley marched into Congress like he was auditioning for Law and Order Boat Crimes Unit and tried explaining why survivors clinging to driftwood were legitimate targets. Buddy, they weren't continuing a drug run. They were continuing to breathe. Meanwhile, Congress introduced a War Powers resolution faster than my Uncle Darryl slaps a hand away from his moonshine jug. When Rand Paul and Tim Kaine agree on something, you know the government done messed up so bad it created a bipartisan Bigfoot sighting. Segment 2. Pentagon versus Common Sense, and the Signal Group chat of doom. Then we got Secretary Pete Hegseth, who apparently runs national security the way teenagers run group chats, emotionally and with no regard for consequences. He shared classified strike info on Signal, like it was a casserole recipe. Sure, he technically can declassify, but that don't mean he oughta. That's like me saying I can deep fry a whole turkey inside a trailer home. Yes, the law allows it, but the fire department does not recommend it. Segment 3. Russia talks collapse. Putin declines America's Groupon deal for peace. Now let's mosey over to Moscow, where Trump's dream team, Jared Kushner and real estate mogul Steve Witkoff, tried to negotiate peace like they were closing on a condo in Kyiv. Putin rejected the proposal as absolutely unacceptable, which is Russian diplomatic language for bless your heart. Then he blamed Europe for ruining the deal, accused them of wanting war, and threatened military action like a man who's just discovered the reply all button and intends to use it. Meanwhile, he flew to India to show the world he still gets invited to parties, even if the snacks now come with sanctions. Segment 4. The Trump Institute of Peace, now with less peace. Back home, the U.S. Institute of Peace got rebranded as the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace, which feels a little like renaming a fire extinguisher Flamethrower Jr. The building's still in legal limbo after Doge, the Elon Musk-led efficiency squad, tried taking it over earlier this year. The court said illegal, but the administration said, "That's adorable, we're doing it anyway." Trump timed the renaming with a Rwanda DRC peace signing ceremony, because nothing says end conflict like stamping your name on a building you don't officially own yet. Segment 5. The Hepatitis B Vaccine Debate. Public Health by Vibes. Meanwhile, HHS Secretary RFK Jr. and his new ACIP crew are debating whether newborn babies still need the hepatitis B shot at birth. They're turning the whole thing into choose-your-own-adventure medicine. The medical community's losing its mind because that shot has basically wiped out childhood Hep B. But the committee says parents seem uncomfortable. Well, parents also seem uncomfortable when toddlers eat dirt. But no one's rewriting soil science. They postponed the vote due to confusion, which is the most honest CDC headline of the year. Segment 6. Schrodinger's Economy. Hiring freeze meets labor hoarding. Economic news is wild, y'all. ADP says we lost 32,000 private sector jobs, but jobless claims are at a 3-year low. That's like saying the cow died, but somehow milk production doubled. Wall Street took one look and said, "Cut rates or we riot." Amazon didn't wait. They're fixing to break up with USPS like a toxic ex and handle their own deliveries. Losing Amazon will hit the postal service harder than losing the truck keys during deer season. Rural America might soon get mail delivered by horseback or interpretive dance, whichever's cheaper. Segment 7. Immigration crackdown, Arctic doom weather, and the country freezing its buns off. Over in New Orleans, immigration agents in masks rounded folks up outside home improvement stores because nothing says national security like arresting someone buying caulk. Travel bans paused visas from 19 countries. Detention centers are being compared to alligator Alcatraz. And honestly, at this point, ICE needs a PR team made of golden retrievers. Meanwhile, a nor'easter dumped snow, ice, misery, and enough power outages to make the 1800s jealous. And right behind it? An Arctic blast so cold even penguins would say, "Nah, I'm good." Segment 8. Space Billionaires and Big Ten Mayhem. Jared Isaacman, billionaire spacewalker, testified in Congress as the nominee for NASA administrator. His stance is basically, space is cool, China is scary, and SpaceX is great, but also maybe not too great. He wants competition, which is a fancy way of saying, I'm not trying to look like Elon's roommate on national TV. And tonight's Sports World brings us the wildest Big Ten championship ever. No, 1 Ohio State versus number 2 Indiana. Indiana, a football powerhouse now. Somewhere, cornfields are celebrating. And in the NFL, Lions versus Cowboys is happening, which means Detroit fans are emotionally preparing for either triumph or trauma, possibly both. In conclusion, America today looks like someone tried rebuilding a tractor engine using only YouTube tutorials and patriotism. The Pentagon's fighting Congress, Russia's fighting peace talks, Trump's fighting building names, RFK Jr.'s fighting vaccines, Amazon's fighting the mail, ICE is fighting Home Depot, NASA's fighting China, and the weather is fighting literally everyone with a pulse. But we're still here, still poorly educated, and still reporting it all the only way we know how. Loudly, confusingly, and with a strong whiff of diesel fumes.